In this video, I want to show you how easy it is to use the Quick Selection tool to do the same thing that we did on the previous video where we used the history brush to paint over a flower. So again, I'm going to open my texture file and I'm going to open the flower file. Again, I'm going to select all, Command A, or Control A on the PC, edit, copy, close my image, edit, paste, which is Command V on the Mac, or Control V on the PC. So I still have, if you'll notice now I have two layers, my background layer and my flower, and I have the texture in my opening snapshot. Once again, I'm going to choose layer and merge down. Now I need to create my history snapshot for the flowers. This time I'm going to actually name it flower. But the history brush is still at the texture image. I'm going to choose the Quick Selection tool. Excuse me. It's here between the Magic Wand and Quick Selection tool. You can change the brush size, but this actually works very well. All I've done, and I'm going to undo this for the moment, is to click and drag, and it selected these two petals. Click and it adds to the selection. Click and it adds to the selection. So I'm going to very carefully see if I can capture the entire set of two flowers here. Every now and then, of course, it decides that it wants more than I've asked it to get. So we have these little areas of green. Probably the Magic Wand is going to take care of that. So I select the Magic Wand tool. I've got a fairly high tolerance here. I've asked it to only select things near one another. Sample all layers doesn't matter because we only have one. But we need to get rid of this particular spot. So I'm going to hold the Alt key down, or the Option key on the Mac, and click the green and see how it subtracted it. I'm going to leave that alone because it's too tiny. I'm going to subtract this area and try to get a little bit more. And this area, again, get a little bit more. This area, see if we can get any of this green. If I decide that I really am being obsessive about this and I want to get in here and get these tiny little areas, I can press the Q key and you'll see I've gone into quick mask mode. If you see my channels, here's the quick mask. And then I can choose my paintbrush tool with black and a very tiny brush. A hard brush. See how tiny I can get that, and zoom in, and now I can paint this away. This brush is almost too tiny to see. This is a practically straight line, so I've clicked here. I'm holding the Shift key down and I'm going to click there. And notice that it's drawn a line between my two click points that's much straighter than my own hand is capable of doing. If I make a mistake, I can press the X key, change my brush size if I want. X changes these colors. Now I'm using white, and I can paint my selection back. Now let's see if I can get this area. Again, it has to be with black, so X will change that. Change my brush size. I'm pressing the Alt key on the PC, holding my right mouse button down and moving the mouse so that I get a different size. Again, I need a slightly smaller sized brush. So I come in here again. And I'm at a point where I need to paint straight. So I'm going to click, hold the Shift key, click again. And continue to do that until I've filled this area. Okay, this looks pretty good to me now. So I'm going to press the Q key, and I've got my marching ants back. And holding down Control, Alt, and Spacebar, or Command Option Spacebar on the Mac, I can zoom in. Use the hand tool, which is the spacebar, to get my image back where I want to see it. And now I have my marching ants. I am on the texture image selection here in the history panel. You can see the history panel has the history, sets the source for the history brush. And here it is in front of texture.psd. However, my flowers have the marching ants. So I can simply come up and say Edit, Fill, and in the Fill dialog box, choose From History. Click OK. Now we've got the selection filled. At this point, I can change the blend mode. Edit, Fade, Fill, and I can change Darken, Multiply. I'm just moving the scroll bar actually on the scroll wheel on my mouse to change these modes. This does not work on the Macintosh. Lighten, screen, color dodge, linear dodge, lighter color, overlay, soft light, vivid light. Hard light is the one that I had liked best in the last video, so I'm going to click that again. Now if I choose select, deselect, I've got my image back. We are exactly at the place where we were at the end of the last video, but I have very sharp edges and I have absolutely nothing to correct. I hope you enjoyed that and learned something in the process. Take care.